Are you known to be get it like it is kind of girl, the kind of woman that just blurts out whatever she thinks, and you're known to have no filter? So much so that you've embraced that personality and you tell yourself and everyone else around you that you have no filter and you are just a tell it like it is kind of girl? Well, here are 3 signs that you are not, in fact, harsh, but just you get me right. Sometimes we tend to carry on a certain type of behavior, defensive mechanism that becomes so built in within us that it becomes a second nature, and we confuse that for our personalities. We want to really dig into why that is and understand our behavior instead of just being robots and live in autopilot without really understanding the reasoning behind our behavior. So here are 3 signs that you might not, in fact, be someone who's naturally harsh or tell it like it is kind of person. It might just be your defense mechanism from being hurt. Sign number 1, you used to be a goody two-shoes. Meaning what? Meaning you used to be one of those girls that would be known, in fact, for being a sweet little girl, a sweet person with a kind personality. And you used to be someone who was so gentle and so loving and so nice and nurturing until you got hurt. You find yourself to be repeatedly looked over, stepped on, betrayed, insulted, mocked, bullied, and your personality as a kind girl, kind woman, was not really getting things across. You used to be sweetest person. In fact, even now, when you look back at yourself, you sometimes laugh and say, I was such an innocent, sweet little girl. What a mistake. So that behavior changed somewhere. It's not that you were always that way. You weren't born that way. You turned into something different. And it could simply be that you are still hurt and you use this kind of behavior to mask your hurt instead of constantly being betrayed, hurt, stepped on by everyone around you. Sign number 2. You tried the gentle approach, but it never worked. Yes, you might have tried. Maybe you did. Maybe you were kind and you were trying to tell people, I don't really like when you say that. Maybe you approach people with a whole conversation and try to say, can I talk to you? There's really something that bothers me. The way in which you say this, I find it to be disrespectful. You've done that several times, sometimes with the same people. And even when people would apologize, they would still turn back and have the same behavior. And you'll be like, what am I doing wrong here? What's really happening? People say that they want you to talk. They always say, if I ever do something wrong, please let me know. I'm not perfect. I really want you to tell me what's going on. And when you do that, they don't listen. When you are kind in your approach, you are soft launching your information, you try to make them see things from your perspective, they would say, oh, I'm so sorry I made you feel this way. I never knew this was like how you felt. I'm so sorry. But then nothing really changes and the same behavior resurfaces later. So those are the things that would make you just change your approach and decide to do things different. And the third sign that you might not actually be harsh but be hurt is that when you started digging things out, when you started dishing it out to people, well, you finally got the respect you were hoping to. Dishing it out gave you the respect you had been crying out for years. And hence, you turned your entire behavior into this whole personality of just dishing things out and speaking things out the way they just come up into your mind. Because what has been a goody two-shoes ever gave you? Instead of, getting respect from people, all you got was just more hurt, bullying and betrayal, disrespect. But being a tell it like it is kind of girl, well, people definitely kept quiet and stopped saying things out of place and stopped quote unquote misbehaving. And even though some people just decided to step away and, remove themselves from the relationship or the friendship, at the very least, you stop being disrespected. And ultimately, you ended up saying, I would rather not have friends or be disrespected again. So, do you recognize yourself in what I just described? Is this you? If it is you, then maybe it is time to face the fact that this is actually not your real personality. Maybe there's a space within you that needs to heal from all the hurt and needs to find an adjustment. Yes, it is important to communicate in a frank and honest way with people, but you also want to be careful not to become rude, not to become you, the person that hurt others. You don't want to become the bully. You don't want to become the actual person that you were trying to fight against to begin with. So some emotional intelligence will help you there. Working on yourself, trying to figure out what are the trigger points that made people feel comfortable enough to speak to you in a certain way, and fix that instead of just switching your entire personality around and becoming this rude person that might actually turn people away from them. I hope this video helped you. We are trying to just be more self-aware queens, boss ladies, and improve our lives as modern day women. If you like this video, make sure to like, to share, to subscribe to the channel, to comment, because the goal here is to start revolutionary conversations. It was the Boss Ladies Room.